My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. I ran a 5-minute mile today. Kyle, how long was yours? It doesn't matter, Chad. No, I want to know, how long was your mile? It was 10 minutes. I timed him. So what? 10-minute mile, dude? You're so fat and lazy. You want to know why your dad left you, Chad? Don't. It's because you're as useless as Anne Frank's drum kit. What? A Christian boarding school black market. This girl went to an extremely conservative Christian boarding school. Jeans, shorts, candy, cell phones, TVs, gaming systems, movies, and clothes that had brand names were all banned. Well, naturally, a couple students started a black market. Keep in mind, everybody at this school was very wealthy. Most of them had parents who were doctors. They had to be incredibly careful, otherwise they could get expelled. But business was absolutely booming. And because they had tons of money, they didn't care how much they spent on it. One kid bought a box of Altoids for $15. Eventually, the school caught on because tons of people had banned items in their rooms. They never found out who did it because none of the customers snitched. The kids that ran this business made thousands. New black market vid on my page. Check it out right now. One day, randomly, this kid told his teacher, "My grandma died." Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, that night, the teacher emails the mom. "I just wanted to say, I'm thinking of your family. Deborah was such a good woman. May she rest in peace." The mom reads it, and she freezes. Wait, what? Her mother-in-law wasn't dead. She was literally at bingo that night. A few minutes later, a different mom from school calls her. We're all gonna miss her so much. She was such an incredible woman. No, I'm sorry, there must be some sort of confusion. She's not dead. By the end of the night, half of the neighborhood is sending their condolences. Everyone thinks Grandma's gone. This one family even dropped off a casserole. She then confronts her kid. Hi, did you tell everyone that Grandma died?" "Yes." "Why?" "I don't actually know." The mom then calls her mother-in-law to warn her about this entire situation. "Oh, hi, sweetie. B27. Crap. Hey, Deb, so apparently you died today?" "Oh, well, no one told me. That's good to know." G26. Bingo! Back in middle school, this kid and his friend used to be those guys. You know, those guys who could get you anything. Gum, they got you. Snacks, they got you. Any drink you want, they got you. Homework passes, Pokemon cards, bathroom passes, they could get it. They were constantly making tons of money. Their business was seriously booming. At one point, they ventured out to do something a bit more risky. They began a service where they would get people dates to a school dance. It was a tough venture, and it cost a lot, but they learned that everyone has a price. Well, the selling dates side business ended when they got this kind of nerdy kid a date to the Christmas dance. However, the girl had a boyfriend, and the girl's parents wondered why she wasn't going to the dance with her boyfriend. The boyfriend found out, got really mad, and the whole story unraveled. These two guys got suspended, and they had to shut down all of their businesses. In total, by the end of middle school, these two guys made over $7,000. You gotta respect the hustle. One day, this kid came to middle school with pink eye. He didn't really tell anybody about it, because if the school knew he had pink eye, they would make him stay home. Well, this was right around the time where classes were having some of their biggest tests of the year, and students were getting stressed out. "Oh, dude, I couldn't study at all this week. I'm gonna fail this test. It's bad. I tried my best. Hopefully I passed, but what's wrong with your eye, dude?" "I have pink eye." "Oh my god, you have pink eye? Why are you here?" "Because they're serving chicken nuggets at lunch today. I can't miss that." "Dude, if you give me pink eye right now, I'll have it by tomorrow and I won't be able to take the test." "Gives me more time." "Dude, alright, $10. Okay, here." "Alright, you ready? Go for it." Okay. Well, word spread, and that day, this dude made $350. The school got pretty suspicious why tons and tons of students had pink eye at the same time. They couldn't really pin it on anybody. And it was a win-win. This kid made some good money, and tons of students were able to pass their tests because they had more time to study. You're not gonna believe this. This entitled man left a review on a mattress store. Here's what happened. So one day he was at a mattress store with his wife, and they bought a mattress. "Yeah, so I think we want, that one. Yeah, that one's perfect." "Alright, sounds good. I'll get this all settled for you." Well, fast forward 2 years, and this guy and his wife were moving to a different town. Well, the mattress wouldn't fit into the minivan. So this is what he did. He called the mattress store that he bought it from. "Hi, yeah, I'm wondering if you could help me move a mattress." "Move a mattress? What do you mean?" "I want one of the workers to come to my house, and move my mattress to my new house, please. We don't do that. Why didn't you just have us deliver it to your new house? Because I bought the mattress 2 years ago. Good luck. I'll pay you.
They sold us a nice bed, but 2 years later when we were moving, they refused to help us move the bed even after we offered to pay for it. So in our opinion, all they do is sell beds. Do not expect anything else after that.
Yeah, no. It's a mattress store, not a moving company. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. This kid is in middle school, and his dad owns a shawarma restaurant. Well, one day this kid had an idea. He started helping his dad close the restaurant every single night, and he started taking home the leftover shawarma, falafel, juice boxes, and a ton of other things. He would then bring those things to school the next day and sell them to students. There's a microwave in the lunchroom, so he would keep the products cold, and then the kids who bought them could warm them up so they taste fresh. To this day, he still hasn't been caught. Business is booming. So far, he's made $300, and he has no plans to stop. One of my videos changed this kid's life. I don't know about all that, but it actually inspired him, he said. So he watched one of my stories about one of these businesses that kids ran in their school, and that's when it hit him. You know what? I could run a hustle too. And he did. He started small with gum and stickers. That week he made $90. His next move, he sold Venom energy drinks. And in just 2 weeks, he made $200. And these wins just kept building his confidence. After that, he decided he was gonna step up a lot. He was gonna make his own website and sell his own streetwear clothing brand. He called it Hype District, and he actually has a website. If you want to check it out, just Google Hype District Canva, and you can see it for yourself. And my friends, this is what happens when you respect the hustle. This would happen across the school every single day. Different classrooms, different floors, but every day at exactly 12:17 p.m. Can I use the bathroom? 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 Nothing suspicious. Not really a pattern that these teachers could put together very easily because, like I said, they were each in a different classroom. But here's what nobody knew. At the far end of the school, in the quiet bathroom nobody ever uses, these kids would go and run full-blown underground Beyblade battles. Every day after they released from the classroom, they would sprint to this bathroom. And when they would get there, they would let it frickin' rip. They had a few of those classic plastic Beyblade arenas, and they were just going to town. They would put money on it as well. Come on, I got $20 on this. You're totally gonna lose, bro. Milk! Doesn't that sound frickin' awesome? They had a blast. I would love this. Well, more and more people were kind of told about this, and more students began joining. And eventually, it became this kind of thing. They were caught and shut down forever. But nobody forgot about that. The random bathroom Beyblade battles at 12:17 p.m. every day. That's awesome. This school secretary is horrible for this. This guy said that when he was in 7th grade, he was in English class when the school secretary came on the intercom to say something.
Good afternoon. Can you please send Kayla Stevens to the office? Her dad just died. Thank you.
That girl's father had just passed away from a heart attack an hour before this, and her mom came in to pick her up from school. And somehow the school secretary thought that announcing to a 12-year-old that her dad was dead in front of her entire class was a good idea. It was not. Every single dog in the neighborhood knew this kid, even the mean ones. This kid made it a point. Every afternoon he would walk the neighborhood, stopping at every fence of every house that had a dog. Small dogs, big dogs, mean dogs, dogs with the sign, "Do not pet." The ones that would bark nonstop, the ones that would continuously growl. He would go to each one. He would crouch, he would talk to them softly, bring them pieces of ham, or chicken, or turkey. "Hey, you're a big mean dog, are you? Hey, here's some turkey. Oh, here's some chicken. Yeah. Oh, here's a toy." Day after day, he was earning the respect of these dogs. Some dogs took weeks, some dogs took months, but eventually every single dog knew him and loved him. To the point where whenever he would walk by, the barking and growling would stop, and they would start wagging their tails. Well, one afternoon, this kid is sitting in his front yard. He's carving a little canoe out of a log with a knife. He's focused, like he's some sort of woodsman. Yes, very nice. This is good cedar. Then he hears it. Heavy paws, deep growling, the rattling of a collar. And he looks up. Down the street, one of the neighborhood's scariest, meanest dogs got loose. And this dog is sprinting towards a neighbor that's walking alone. The neighbor does not know what to do, so he freezes. This kid knows this is freaking bad. This dog is about to attack this guy. So he tries to stop it. He stands up and he yells, "Rufus!" The dog skids to a stop, takes his eyes off the neighbor, and looks at the kid. And immediately the dog is now happy. He jogs past the neighbor, straight to the kid gives him some turkey and takes him by the collar. He then walks the dog back to his house and knocks on the door. Hi, so your dog likes me, but he doesn't like everybody. You gotta get him some training. I saved you big time today. Kid then goes back to his yard, sits down, and finishes carving the canoe out of the wood. Like nothing happened. What an absolute legend. There was this one teacher at this one high school that never let anybody use the bathroom, no matter how many times they asked. There was this one girl in class who hated this teacher, and the teacher hated her. Every day, she would always ask if she could use the bathroom, and the teacher said no. Well, on the last day of school, this girl was in this teacher's class. She asked the teacher twice if she could use the bathroom, and the teacher said no. This is what happened when she asked for the third time. Miss, can I please use the bathroom? I really have to go. I swear to God, if you ask me one more time, no, you may not. Okay, fine, but just remember, you did this. The girl then stood up, stared at the teacher, and peed her pants. She got in big trouble, but she went home and told her parents about this, and her father was a urologist. Her father called the school, and this teacher got into huge trouble. Did this woman go too far? She was in her car in the line for the Starbucks drive-thru, and the line was very long. She had been in it for about 20 minutes at this point. When a woman in a Mercedes tried to cut in front of her and the 8 cars behind her in line. Hey, no! Screw you! When they got to the order screen, as that lady was placing her order, she decided to lay on her horn every time that woman tried to talk. Yeah, I want to get, Okay, I'll have a, Okay, so I want to... Eventually, that lady got fed up and drove off without placing her order. I mean, it wasn't right for that woman to cut her off, but to waste people's time even further, she might have went too far. What do you think? The person that shared this story said that when she was a kid, her Girl Scout troop went on a field trip to the police station. For fun, they put all the Girl Scouts in one of the cells and locked it. They were going to take some pictures. But for some reason, the person that had the key left the room. And in the cell block right next to them was an actual criminal who had been arrested the day before. And this woman was wacky. Hey girls. You want to smell something really weird? I don't want to smell anything, no. I'm gonna kill you. Let us out of here, Can someone get the key, please? She's gonna kill us. That's crazy. A beautiful lunchtime service. While everybody else ate chicken nuggets on plastic plates, a couple students disappeared every single lunch period and came back smelling like meat and potatoes. The chef, his name was Liam. What's up? I'm Liam. Both of Liam's parents were chefs, so he grew up learning the trade. Now at school, he had cooking class first period, and he had a free period right before lunch. So he launched a business. For $30, you got a private table backstage of the auditorium, a 3-course meal he cooked the night before, fresh linens, candlelight, and music. He would reheat everything in the cooking room, and he would plate it himself, and he served it to his guests wearing an apron, gloves, and a chef hat. And the thing is, people booked this service every single day to impress their crush. This is nice, huh? It's delicious. You really outdid yourself here. To settle rivalries, I'll stop stealing your pencils, but you gotta stop tying my shoes together during class. Fine, you have a deal. Tiramisu for you both? Ah, yes, thank you. This is lovely. Some kids even booked it to make business deals. I'll sell your product to the basketball games, but I want 15%, 10%. But I have a new business launching soon, and I'll get you in on the ground floor, 50-50. You have a deal. Tiramisu? Ah, yes, please. This is lovely. And spots filled up in advance. This service was booked like 3 weeks. He only did 1 table a day. He never advertised. It was simply word of mouth. If you wanted to book, you would have to come up to him and say, "Chef, do you still offer your service?" "Absolutely. I could fit you in 2 weeks on the 17th. I'll take it." Holy crap. You gotta respect the hustle. This girl was 13 years old when this happened. Her stepmom had been in her life for 3 years, but they still weren't close. She didn't listen to her stepmom, she didn't really trust her, and she would make that clear.
I don't trust you.
I don't care.
Well, that week, her dad was overseas for a funeral. So it was just her and her stepmom. And he was going to be there for 3 weeks. So every day, her stepmom would pick her up from school at 3. But she would always come out of school late, like 30 to 45 minutes late, which is kind of crazy and a bit annoying.
I've been waiting here for 45 minutes. This is the 3rd day in a row.
And the kid would just roll her eyes.
Get over it.
So one day, the stepmom decides she's not going to wait. She's not going to show up. She's gonna let her figure it out herself. So the next day, she doesn't go to the school. She stays home and then she just waits. So at 7 p.m., she finally is like, yo, I should call my stepdaughter. But she doesn't answer. So she calls the school. Hi, yes, I'm wondering, is Kayla Johnson still there? Kayla Johnson? No, she walked home at around 3:30. Oh no. Yeah, she messed up. She panics, she calls the neighbors, she calls the police. Eventually, they find her in somebody's backyard a few blocks away. What happened was she tried cutting through yards to get home. Well, one yard had a dog, and it bit her in the leg. Badly. She limped away, realized her phone was dead, so she sat down and just cried. I mean, yeah, she shouldn't have went through someone's backyard, but still, this girl's 13. Her stepmom is responsible for her. The dad caught a flight that night. Are you kidding me? You let this happen. I'm at the airport right now. I am
So done.
The daughter now has a permanent scar, and the dad left the stepmom. And like I said, the girl was 13 years old. You can't just do that. Messed up. It's March. The school goes into one of those lockdowns where the police bring in these dogs to sniff around the lockers looking for some sort of illegal substances. Every classroom door is locked. There's no bathroom breaks allowed. Well, one kid in this class is visibly unwell. Pale, he's sweating. The teacher notices and goes over to him. What's wrong? The kid whispers back. Do you think the dogs would go to my locker? The teacher kind of pauses. Do you have something to be worried about? Kid nods yes and says, there's a ham and cheese sandwich in there with extra mayonnaise on it. The teacher's confused. That's not a problem. You're allowed to have food. The kid says, I know, but it's been in there since September. 6 months. 6 months this sandwich has been in the locker, and the kid is so worried about it, I'm pretty sure that sandwich smelled. This kid wasn't afraid of getting expelled. He was afraid that the dogs were going to uncover this weird biological event that was growing in his locker for 6 months. Luckily for him, the dogs didn't go by his locker, and nobody uncovered the sandwich smell. But that teacher never forgot the fear on that kid's face. This one school had a weird tradition. Kids would drop food off the top of the staircase and watch it explode on the ground. One kid, this kid named Jeff, brings a tomato. He walks all the way to the top of the staircase. He looks down and he goes, yeah, I shouldn't do this. And then his friend takes the tomato out of his hand. Scaredy cat, I'll do it. His friend throws it, and splat. It explodes all over the floor. Well, the teacher saw this and looked up. Only thing the teacher saw was Jeff. Jeff. Office now. Jeff's like, I didn't do it, but he was dragged to the office anyway. He gets in there. He's sitting down. Just admit you threw it. I didn't. They didn't believe him. They suspended him. Later that day, the kid who actually did it confessed. The school then suspends him, but they refuse to undo Jeff's suspension. They claim they have video proof of the two kids throwing the tomato together, but they keep saying, we can't release the video for privacy reasons. They're both still suspended. Well, a few days passed, and Jeff's older brother shows up at the school, and he is serious. Hey, you guys better show the video now. I said we can't. If you don't show the video, you're gonna regret it. I guess the brother was a bit more intense than that, but they finally show the video, and the video has nothing on it. It's just a blank wall. The school still keeps the two kids suspended. Well, Jeff's siblings and Jeff's friends are super mad about this, so they tell the entire school to bring a tomato tomorrow. Hey, everybody, tomorrow, bring a tomato and meet at the top of the staircase. Next day at lunch, splat, splat, splat. At least 50 tomatoes were dropped from the top of the staircase. It's a full-blown tomato apocalypse. The school could not suspend everybody. And Jeff and his friend got that suspension taken off their record. Yeah, good. They lost him during a thunderstorm. The backyard gate swung open and their dog was gone. For weeks, they searched. They put up posters everywhere. They called different shelters. Nothing. Then one afternoon, they're driving home. Daughter sees something. Mom, that's Milo. Same golden fur, same curled tail, except a new collar. They pull over and they walk up to the door. Milo! His name's actually Charlie. He's cute though, huh? Feel free to pet him. Mom, do something. Where did you find him? Oh, we picked him up from the shelter. He was soaking wet. It was raining. We took him home. That's our dog. He was chipped. He wasn't chipped, and that's our dog. The girl kneels down. Milo, come here. See? He knows his name. Charlie, come here. But Milo didn't come. He was so happy to see his real owners. Quick, get Milo in the car. We're leaving now. Hey, wait. And they took the dog and they sped away. Honestly, I would have done the same thing. That's my freaking dog. That dude was seriously trying to keep him. That's messed up. This could have been so bad. In this one class, he used to sit in the same seat every single day. Front row in the middle, nothing too special about it. Well, one particular morning, he noticed the person that usually sits right to the left of him was absent. So there was an empty desk right there. And he decided for that day he was going to sit there. Class then starts like normal. About 25 minutes in, there's a large crack. Then another. Then the overhead projector that is directly above his normal seat falls down and crashes onto that empty desk. That could have been you. Yeah, I know. And it went down fast. The desk was now cracked. Imagine if he was sitting there. The room was frozen, like holy crap, this could have been horrible. Maintenance comes in, they pick it up, they make sure nobody's hurt, and then they just go on about their day. But that day could have gone a whole lot differently if his classmate wasn't sick, and if he decided he wasn't gonna switch seats. But he did, and life went on. Somebody's looking out for him. These guys are currently running this business. They sell Rubik's Cubes at their school. And as you can imagine, at first, not many people wanted to buy them. So this guy had an idea. He would bring his Rubik's Cube around everywhere, and he would teach people tricks on how to solve them. After a few weeks of doing this, more and more people wanted to buy the Rubik's Cubes. Kids were buying them because solving a Rubik's Cube is impressive. So maybe they were trying to impress girls, their friends, whatever. But business is currently booming. They sell the Rubik's Cubes for about $15 each, and they just recently made over $300. New black market vid on my page. Check it out right now. Sometimes teachers suck. The person that shared this story said that when she was in high school, she was one of the best art students in the school. Well, one of the assignments was that they had to design something on the computer and email it to the teacher. Well, one day in a different class, she was called down to the office. Kayla Anderson, please come to the principal's office. In the office was her principal, Kayla, have a seat, and her art teacher. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, what's going on? Well, I got your homework that you emailed, the graphic design project. Something was off, so I ran it in a reverse Google search.
Yes, and don't even try to deny this. We caught you red-handed.
What? That's impossible. I made that myself.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. Well, how come I found it on a random artist website? What is the website? Not like it matters. Read me the website. Okay, whatever. You plagiarized your project from KaylaJohnsonArt.com.
Yeah, that's my website, you. Her friend is the worst. The woman who shared this story said it was the day of her friend's wedding, and she was her friend's maid of honor. It's been months of planning. Everyone was dressed, and they were all ready to step into the limo.
I can't believe today's the day. I'm so excited for you, and I want to thank you for taking me on this journey with you. I'm so honored. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. So, Melissa is the maid of honor now? What? Yeah, this whole time she thought she was my maid of honor. I never had the heart to tell her that you were, so you're not the maid of honor anymore.
She stood there, not knowing what to say. And as they were all about to get into the limo, her friend, the bride, says to her,
"Oh, by the way, you should probably have your boyfriend drive you to the venue. Because Melissa's my maid of honor now, there's no more room in the limo. Okay, I'll see you there, bye."
She then skipped the wedding and never talked to her friend ever again. This is messed up. So there was this kid named Owen, always polite, quiet, but he was always reminding the class of his peanut allergy. I have a peanut allergy. And the teacher backed him up every time. And guys, remember, no peanuts in class, please. Thank you. But one kid, Tyler, got sick of hearing it. I'm so sick of hearing this. And he swore Owen was faking this entire thing because he wanted attention. So on a random day, Tyler brought candy for everybody. And he made a big show of it. Don't worry guys, they're regular M&Ms. Totally safe, Owen, I promise. But they weren't. They were peanut M&Ms. He gave one to Owen and he ate it. Wait a minute. Everybody was laughing, and Tyler was getting ready to prove that Owen was faking it this entire time, but that's not what happened. Nothing's gonna happen, guys. He's been faking this. Oh, Owen. He begins choking, wheezing, and then he falls out of his chair. The teacher called 911, and Owen was taken to the hospital. And Tyler got suspended for weeks. Yeah, that's messed up. This kid's an evil genius. At this school at the end of the year, they had a kindness award. The person who would win this kindness award would be given a $50 Dairy Queen gift card, 5 homework passes, and your picture on the wall of the main office. Well, the thing is, the person who won was voted on by a random committee of teachers. 5 teachers, different every year. So 2 months before the vote, this kid hatches a plan. He finds out who's on the committee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Mrs. Stevens is the last one. Perfect. Once he found out, he starts doing the most calculated acts of kindness in front of each and every one of the teachers on the committee. For one teacher, he holds the door open for her every single morning. Ah, yes, good morning, Mrs. Stevens. Oh, how nice. Good morning, good morning. That's right, I'm nice. Another teacher, he brings in a plant labeled for your mental health and hands it to her. Here you go, Mrs. Johnson. I thought you would like this. Oh my God, I love plants. How kind are you? That's right, I'm kind. What was that? Nothing. Don't forget to water it. Bye. One time during lunch, he stands on a table and gives a speech about gratitude. And then after that, he walks around the cafeteria picking up trash, helping the janitors. It wasn't even subtle. One time, he handed a granola bar to one of the teachers and straight up said, "Here you go, for kindness." Well, aren't you just a nice student? And at the end of the year, he frickin' wins, and it's by a landslide. And that day, after school, he took that $50 Dairy Queen gift card, and he spent it all on himself. Needless to say, he had a terrible stomachache the next day. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. This kid considered himself a genius. I'm a genius. He knew everything about smartphones and how to fix them. So he decided he was gonna start a business. He told people that he was running a phone repair service, and he got his first 2 customers. And done. Here's yours, and here's yours. It was easy money, and word spread really fast. Suddenly he had classmates, kids in other grades, and even people from outside of school hitting him up. And then teachers started asking him, "Hey, I heard you run a little service, so my screen's cracked. Can you fix it for me?" Absolutely. Now, prices vary depending on the severity of the damage, but he would charge $30 to fix an older phone. If it was a newer phone, it'd be around $80. And if he had to fix a camera lens or something like that, more serious, it could be up to $200. And he was smart. He didn't stop at just the repairs. He started supplying and selling phone cases as well. I got cheap cases for $10, I have wallet cases for $20, and I have designer cases for $50. Which one is it? And he would of course sell screen protectors. $5 flat, sometimes 12 if you wanted a really good one. He ran the service throughout high school, and over the years he serviced so many phones and he pocketed thousands of dollars. And honestly, that's genius. You gotta respect the hustle. Stephen was a quiet kid that got bullied for everything, but one day he decided to change that. It was a second-floor classroom. Stephen was sitting by the window, and he decided that today was the day he was not going to be bullied anymore and that he was going to become a legend. Now, the funny thing about Stephen was that he was actually shredded. Well, the teacher was mid-lesson, and Stephen opens up the window, and he jumps out. There was a single-story building right outside this window, so he just jumped down onto that. And then he started dancing. Like full-on dancing, poses, spins, his hands were in the air, frickin' jazz hands. One kid near the window said, "Bro thinks he's doing a halftime show." He was hyped. He thought he did a great dance, so he hopped down to the courtyard, walked back in school, and sat down in the classroom. But the thing is, nobody even saw him do it. Just that one kid by the window. Nice work, man. He was livid. He did all that because he wanted to be this legend of a kid who danced on the roof of the school building. But no one noticed him, so the next week he came and he did it again. Same class, same window, same routine, and again, nobody noticed. Did anybody see that? See what, Stephen, huh? The world does not revolve around you. Pay attention to the lesson. I hate my life. One day, this strict teacher stepped into the classroom supply closet. "Class, be quiet. I need to step into the closet really fast." And this closet was pretty tight, really small. So she steps in, and this one kid sneaks up to the closet, slams the door, and locks her in it. "Help me. Somebody help me." At first, everybody was silent, and then they just started laughing. And each student in that classroom left, leaving her locked in the supply closet. Now, I get that she's strict, but this is not something to do to your teacher. An hour later, another teacher heard the screams coming from this empty classroom. She goes in there. "Oh my God, Mrs. Donahue, I'm dying." She let her out, and the teacher that was locked in there just collapsed, shaking, crying on the floor. After that day, she took 2 weeks off, and every single student in that classroom got into huge trouble. Good. This teacher was so strict for no reason. Her class was the only class in school that had this rule. No backpacks at your desks ever. They stay in your locker. Backpacks couldn't be under your chairs, couldn't be under your desks, couldn't be leaning against the wall. And if you forgot something, Too bad. No trips to your locker, no borrowing stuff from other students. She wouldn't even lend kids a pencil if they needed it. Miss, can I have a pencil? If you forgot your supplies, that meant a 0 for the day. Well, kids usually messed up. Some kids forgot their notebooks, some forgot their papers, pencils. It was a thing, and they were getting 0s. And she wouldn't even bend a little. You know the rule. Well, one day the class decides to coordinate. Every single student in that class on this particular day went in with nothing. No notebooks, no pencils, no pens, no papers, nothing. They were there just themselves. They sit down, they fold their hands in front of them, and they just stare ahead. The teacher looks confused. Then she starts handing out the worksheets for the day. No one moves. Why is nobody writing? We all forgot everything today, Mrs. Cabinet. If we had our backpacks, maybe we'd have our stuff. Oh, well, you all know the rule. The entire class gets a 0 for that day. The next day, they do the same thing, and they get a 0 again. The third day in a row, the class is sticking to their guns. They're all showing up with nothing. They get a 0 again. Parents start calling, asking why their students' grades are tanking. The principal sits in one day and figures out what's going on. The students were then allowed to bring their backpacks to class. The frickin' protest worked. And those 0s got erased from the gradebook. Their grades were back to normal. That's right. Hey, look, we got a sub. It was supposed to be an easy day. The regular teacher was out and the sub came in. And sure, a couple kids whispered during the lesson. One kid even tossed a paper airplane. But for the most part, the class wasn't bad at all. Well, the next morning, the regular teacher storms in. So, this is the note the sub left me, and I cannot believe you. Wait, what? The worst class I've ever seen. Total chaos. Students disrespectful, talking over instructions, disobeying, and disrespecting me. What? And the class erupts. Yo, that is not true at all. Yeah, this sub is lying. But the teacher slams the paper on the desk. I will not hear it. Every single one of you needs to have a 5-page paper written and turned in tomorrow on why what you did was wrong. And the class didn't really know what to do because they know they weren't that bad, but the teacher was just gonna believe the sub's note. And the sub definitely lied. You ever wonder why schools randomly ban like hot Cheetos or Takis? There's always a reason, and at this one school, that reason was, let's call him Marcus, the 7th grade snack kingpin. Marcus had snacks. He was running an entire operation. Backpack loaded like a frickin' vending machine. Takis, Sour Patch, mini Gatorades, all marked up 200%, and people bought them. Business was absolutely booming. And it wasn't just him in this operation. He had runners. Kids in different grades moving products between different classes. He would even bring backup hoodies to school. He would change them throughout the day, so security cameras would think it's different people doing different things. He made enough money in 3 months to buy 2 pairs of brand new Jordans. Never used Venmo, only cash. But here's how he got caught. One of his runners sold Capri Sun to a diabetic kid and told him it was sugar-free, which is absolutely messed up. The kid's blood sugar spiked, the nurses got involved. The school asked him where he got it from, and this kid spilled. The entire operation crumbled. Marcus was suspended for 1 week. School banned all sorts of snacks. After that, it was like this business operation never existed. But if you went to the boys' bathroom, in stall number 3, written in small letters on the door, was the snack prices. You gotta respect the hustle. He graduated 8th grade. I freaking did it. And his school gave him a free meal card for Cane's. I love Cane's. It was his golden ticket. He guarded it like it was a national treasure. But the thing is, whenever he was driving home or to somewhere with his mom, he would always ask, Mom, I'm hungry. Can I please use my Cane's card now? She would say, no, sweetie, because it's only for 1 Cane's meal. What about your siblings? They'll feel left out. Well, I can use the card and you can pay for their meals. You think I made the money? So the card just lived in his wallet, unused, waiting. Then one day, he goes into his wallet to look at it. It's gone, and he wasn't the one that used it. So now it's a full-blown investigation. He goes downstairs. Where's my Cane's card? Did somebody use my Cane's card? His little sister said, no. But he said in that moment, he began to smell the sauce. So he looks in the garbage can. Cane's box. You? His little sister cracks instantly. I went to a doctor's appointment today, and Mom took me to Cane's. She used her card. She grabbed it out of your wallet last night. His mom came home, and she didn't really have a reason why she did this. This kid was heartbroken. The betrayal was biblical. He didn't talk to his mom for weeks after that. That's messed up, dude. At this middle school, this gym class was brutal. Every single day, mile runs, rain or shine. No basketball, no dodgeball, just running. So when this kid showed up in a cast, people were jealous. No gym for him for like a month and a half. Eventually, he healed. But when the doctors took his cast off, they gave it back to him. And that gave him a brilliant idea. I have a brilliant idea. He reinforced the inside of the cast with foam, rewrapped parts of the outside with bandage tape, and kept the cast in a sling. Then he began making an offer to students. $50 a month. No gym, no questions asked. So what? I give you the money, you give me the cast, and I wear it for a month, and then I don't have to do gym? That's right, my furry little friend. What? Nothing. And it worked. Kids who paid would get the cast, put it on, and be limping around school, holding their arm like it hurt. They could even pay extra, and this kid would forge doctor's notes for them. Well, when they walked into gym class with this cast on, the gym teacher asked no questions. They were just gonna sit out, and that was that. Well, demand got so high, the wait list was pretty long. He even had people Venmoing him early to reserve a spot. Well, some teachers were starting to get skeptical about why so many kids were breaking their left arm, but it wasn't that big of a deal yet. And soon enough, this entire business fell apart. One of the kids who rented this cast for a month let his friend borrow it for his gym period. I don't want to do gym today, man. Bro, it's fine. Take this. I rented it. It's mine for the month anyway. Here, put it on. Nice. Super dumb move. So third period, one kid walks into gym class with the cast on. Then fourth period, a completely different kid walks in with the same cast on to gym class. The gym teacher clocked it immediately. They both got sent to the office. They snitched on the kid who ran this business and boom, everything was shut down. Kind of a brilliant idea, but maybe it could have been executed better, but still, you gotta respect the hustle. The craziest things that happened at school. At one high school, there was this one teacher. He would give out a 45-question packet every day at the beginning of each class. Well, it was the first day of school, and this teacher handed out these packets to the freshmen. All right, students, here's your 45-page packet. Get it done as soon as you possibly can so we can begin the lesson, okay? No one has ever given him a hard time for these packets, but this one day, this freshman wasn't having it. There is no way I'm doing this. This is way too much. I'm not doing this. Oh yeah? Well, if you don't do this, I'm sending you to the principal's office, okay? The kid rolled up the packet so it was super thin. He then shoved it into his water bottle and shook it around. When he took it out, it was soaking wet, super soggy. He balled it up and threw it right at the teacher's groin. That kid was then expelled, and he was sent to juvie for assault. When he was 7, he did something so dumb. It was a public swimming pool. Family locker room, wet floors, benches everywhere. This kid's in there, and he notices something sitting under a bench. What is it? It's a thumbtack, just sitting there. Nobody was around, nobody was paying attention. Instead of picking this up and throwing it away, he takes it and places it pointy side up right in the middle of the floor. Then he goes away. About 30 minutes pass. Families keep moving in and out of the locker room, bare feet, and he starts to think to himself, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe somebody could get hurt. So he goes back in, but he's way too late. Oh no. Oh, Mom, I'm bleeding. A kid had stepped right on it, and his foot was bleeding. Oh my God, what a horrible person would do something like this. The kid never said a word. He just stood there, panicking internally. You'll be okay, son. Whoever did this is a complete and utter idiot. I mean, yeah, that's pretty messed up. Crazy things kids did in school. Follower submission. I just want to start this video off by saying no squirrels were harmed. Okay, so this kid and his friend wanted to pull a prank at school. So they set up a trap in his backyard to catch a squirrel. They put some corn in there, and sure enough, the next day, there was a squirrel in the trap. They safely ushered the squirrel from the trap to a lunchbox. They took the lunchbox to school, and well, they released the squirrel into the bathroom. They posted the incident on Snapchat, and although they knew this would probably get them caught, they didn't really care. They were pretty much doing it for the clout. Anyway, here's the Snapchat he sent me. Oh my God. Well, after the bathroom incident, the squirrel managed to escape the bathroom and started running down the hallways. That's when they heard a couple screams. They panicked a little bit and they head to class. Well, they were caught and they were incredibly apologetic to school staff. They didn't get in trouble at all. They simply got a phone call home. There was a kid named Ian. He was the shortest kid in elementary school. The bullies loved making fun of him. Hey, short stack, what's the weather like down there? Bruh. One night he came home and he sat at the kitchen table and he talked to his dad. Dad, they won't leave me alone. His dad didn't tell him to ignore it. His dad didn't call to school. Ian, come with me. I want to show you something. They go downstairs and Ian realizes that this corner of the basement wasn't used for storage. There was a punching bag there. A full boxing setup. Gloves, wraps, a speed bag, a heavy bag. Like a mini gym in this corner of their basement. Whoa. Son, you're gonna train. You're not gonna train to hurt them. You train so you don't feel so helpless. So Ian starts practicing every day, day after day, and he's getting pretty good. Then, one day, in the cafeteria, Ian's carrying his lunch. He walks past the bully's table and he tries to ignore them. One of the bullies steps up and smacks the tray into his face. Food everywhere, milk dripping down his shirt. Everybody's laughing at him. And then Ian snaps. He puts his tray down calmly, walks straight up to that bully, pops him right in the face. Then another one. Clean, quick punches. The bully's stunned. He falls down. He's like, all right, stop. All right, stop. Ian walks away. He's taken to the office and he's suspended for a whole week. But nobody messed with him ever again. He never had to use his boxing skills ever again. But he knows he has them. And if he has to use them, he will respect.
This is the best senior prank of all time. So at this one high school, nobody knew what the senior prank was going to be. Usually there's a warning or like someone's leaked it, but this year nothing. But right after second period, the school's front door opens and enters a mariachi band. 5 guys, full suits, giant instruments, and they start following the principal everywhere. It's kind of awesome. He's just walking normal, like checking things out. He's doing his job. He walks into a classroom mid-session. The band follows him in. The kids love it. By lunch, it's a full event. Kids got their phones out. They're filming him. They're following him around the hallways like a freaking parade. And the principal is eating this up. He thinks it's absolutely hilarious. And at the end of the day, the band leaves. And that was it. And nobody got in trouble because, let's be real, that was awesome. Like I said, brilliant senior prank. A dirty pair of shoes changed his entire life. It started when this kid noticed something weird. Every single Friday, without fail, this one math teacher wore the same busted sneakers. Grimy, white New Balances that were definitely super stained. So one day during lunch, this 8th grader walks up to him. You know I can clean those shoes for you, right? Eh? Be my guest. So they go to his classroom, he gives him the New Balances and puts on another pair of shoes, and this kid takes the teacher's shoes home. He wants to do a good job, so he's watching tutorials on YouTube, he borrows his cousin's shoe cleaning kit, he goes to town. Well, he brings those shoes back looking brand spanking new. Yo, these are nice. Can you clean the shoes I actually care about though? And just like that, word spreads fast. By next week, this kid's got a folded up table in the corner of the lunchroom with a sign that says, Sneaker Shine, $5 for basic, $10 for premium. He brought in toothbrushes to scrub the stuff, he had suede brushes to keep that suede looking fresh, and he had like sneaker whitening pens. By week 3, some of the football players are giving him their cleats after practice for him to clean. By week 4, he's got some teachers that are giving him their shoes. And by week 5, this kid is shining shoes during class, doing algebra with one hand and scrubbing Vans with the other. Business was absolutely booming. Well, one teacher, who's kind of lame, reported him for running an unauthorized business. But the principal pulled him aside, said, look, you're not in trouble. Just don't make a mess, keep it quiet, and bring your rates down for school staff. For you, Mr. Johnson, you got it. And for you, always free. He made $800 in 2.5 months. Eventually, after a while, it did get out of hand and he had to stop. But by that point, he had a huge clientele, and he started his own website. You gotta respect the hustle. The fight started in the hallway, slamming into lockers, shouting, loud noises. When it was finally over, one teacher saw one kid whose shirt was ripped. And that was Ethan. Hey, I'm Ethan. Ethan didn't throw a punch. He wasn't even a part of the fight. He was just the one who was trying to pull his best friend Marcus off of the other kid. So when the principal called Ethan to the office, Ethan just took the hit. Did you do this? Yeah, I did. And what about your friend Marcus? I saw him near you. Was he involved too? No, he wasn't. It was all me. He's suspended for 3 days. When he comes back, a few people treated him a little differently, like he was some sort of, bad kid. But a couple days later, his friend Marcus couldn't hold it in anymore. He felt guilty. So he went to the principal's office. He was crying. He told them the complete truth. The next day, Ethan's called in. You could have cleared your own name. Why didn't you? It just didn't feel right. Marcus has got enough stuff going on. I'm incredibly proud of you, Ethan. I am. By the end of that year, Ethan's grades aren't perfect. But the principal writes him a college recommendation letter. And it was so good that he got into his first choice college. That's amazing. This kid was sleeping over at his friend's house, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, hungry. I'm hungry. He remembers that there was graham crackers in the kitchen, and he figured that'll work. So he gets up and he steps out of the room, but the second he lays foot in the hallway, What? A motion sensor alarm goes off. Within seconds, the lights turn on and his friend's dad comes barging out of his bedroom. Who's out here? You. It's just me. I was getting a snack. The dad then pointed to multiple small boxes on the baseboard of the hallway. You see these, kid? Motion sensors. No one's allowed to leave their rooms after midnight. Heads back into the bedroom and his friend's awake. Hey, bro, I'm sorry about that. Dude, that's so messed up. You have a curfew for inside your house. I know, it sucks. And this was so uncomfortable for him that he never slept at that house ever again. Every year, this school had a field day. No classes, just games outside. Tug-of-war, relay races, popsicles at the end. It was everyone's favorite day. Well, this one year, everything started off perfect. Field day starting off perfect. Sunshine, kids in their colors, music blasting. But by lunch, storm clouds roll in. And teachers tried to squeeze in the last of the events before it starts to pour. Okay, one more race and then inside. Then, boom. Thunder cracks. Rain starts pouring, the field turns to mud instantly. Well, the problem? The school locked every single side door because they wanted to funnel all the kids in and out of the main entrance. Well, the issue is the field that they were playing in was behind the school. So now hundreds of kids are slipping, sprinting, covered in mud. I lost my shoe. I can't even see. Where are my glasses? By the time they got back inside, everything was soaked. Mud everywhere. And the school day ended with students washing the mud off themselves in the bathroom and the janitors drying them down with leaf blowers. That's actually hilarious. This third date ended quick. This guy was on a third date with this girl he met on Tinder. She was at his apartment and they were just hanging out. As they were talking on his couch, she said, I have to use the bathroom really fast, okay? Oh yeah, for sure. In the hallway, first door on your right. Okay, I'll be back soon. Well, she was in there for a decent amount of time. He assumed she was probably pooping. I'm back. So where were we? We were talking about your childhood in Ohio, but I have to use the bathroom too. I'll be right back. So he goes in the bathroom, but when he gets in there, he notices something sus. It was a decent-sized poop that she obviously didn't flush. But the worst part is, there was no toilet paper in the toilet. What the heck? He checked the garbage can because who knows? There was no toilet paper in the garbage can as well. Oh. His date had pooped in his bathroom, didn't flush, and obviously didn't wipe after going. Yeah, you gotta go. And he never saw her again. This kid and his friend ran the most insane businesses in high school. He lived pretty close to shops, so every day he would buy a bunch of items. And him and his friend made a website where students at their school could go on and order items from them. The website had descriptions and prices on there as well. It was very convenient. Then, to get paid and make profit, he charged a $7.50 delivery fee. They also had a selection of energy drinks that they stored in certain lockers around the school that were available for students' immediate pickup. Another thing they did was that they sold teachers login information. Now, the prices for these were much higher. Kids would buy them to change grades and do stuff like that. They also had the principal's login. They actually sold that one for over $600. These geniuses ran these businesses for over 4 years, and they made about $300,000. That's absolutely insane. New black market vid on my page. Check it out right now. This game was banned from the school. It was a game called Get Down, Mr. President, and it worked like this. Anytime, anywhere, somebody could yell, "Get down, Mr. President!" and every kid in the area would have to put their finger to their ear, like this. Kinda like how Secret Service agents do. But here's the thing. The last person to put their finger to their ear would get tackled by everybody in the area. Gosh darn it! Get 'em! It would be a full-on dog pile. In the hallways, courtyards, band practice one time. It got so bad that one day a kid was tackled into the water fountain and the water fountain fell off the wall. Water was spraying everywhere. One teacher joined in one time and tackled the student. He was then fired, obviously. The school eventually banned it. They were calling it a coordinated ambush activity. They put it in the announcements and everything, but that just made it worse. Because people still shouted, "Get down, Mr. President." And the kids went, should I play or get in trouble? And most kids still played. That's crazy. The wrong grandkid. Every few months, she would get an envelope in the mail. Oh, sweet. It was Grandma's handwriting. Inside of it, a crisp $20 bill.
and a note that said, "For gas." "I don't even drive, Mom." "Grandma's old, sweetie. Let's not question it. Money's money." Years go by and the letters keep coming. Always the same message. For gas. Then one summer, the entire family's over for a barbecue. Well, her cousin pulls up. New car, loud music bumping. He's about 5 years older than she is. "What's up, family?" Grandma hugs him. She's laughing. "Oh, I see that gas money's going to good use." The cousin goes, "Gas money? Yeah, I've been mailing it to you for years." Well, this girl overheard that. "Grandma, you've been mailing me that." "Oh, my fault." What had happened was the grandma had written down this address years ago. It was the wrong address. It was the address of Ashley Johnson. The grandkid she meant to send it to was Adam Johnson. So all she wrote on the letter was A. Johnson. You can see where the confusion would come into play. "Well, Grandma, looks like you owe me like $300 now." Oh, no. Your cousin probably needed that money more than you do. I mean, look at your nice car. You got plenty of it. That's hilarious. Genius level 1,000. So this kid gets a job at the local movie theater. 2 tickets to the Helpful Cow, please. All right. Enjoy the show. Well, day 3, he learns a pretty cool thing. "All right, staff, a reminder, you all get free popcorn." Isn't that awesome? Best job ever. So every shift, right before close, he fills a bag with free popcorn. He ties it up and he stuffs it in his backpack. Popcorn into backpack. He goes home, goes into his bedroom, and he puts that popcorn into an even bigger bag of popcorn. It's a massive trash bag he keeps in his closet. He does this for days. His closet turns into a popcorn storage unit, and he's trying to keep the popcorn as fresh as possible. Then what he does is he takes his popcorn to school, and he sells it. Like, for example, one night during a basketball game, the school is selling tiny popcorn bags for $4 each. He comes in, $2, fresh movie theater quality popcorn, $2. He goes behind the bleachers and a line forms. People are ditching the real concession stand to buy popcorn off of him. He upgrades his business too. Employees get 50% off of all candy. So one day he buys a bunch, tosses it in his backpack, and sells it at school for full price. "Here you have candy." "Yep, Twix, Reese's, Butterfinger. What do you want?" He's basically running concessions every day at school. And by the end of the year, he made more money selling popcorn and candy than the theater paid him to work there. And that is genius. You gotta respect the hustle. It was lunchtime. Everyone is sitting on the lunch tables. It's pretty packed. And well, a chain reaction starts. The one where you punch someone in the shoulder and you say, "Pass it on." Pass it on. Pass it on. There's laughter. Everybody's playing along. The row across for them sees this and then they join in as well. Well, it gets to this one kid. "Pass it on." He bursts into tears. He's ugly crying. He's wailing so loud, the whole cafeteria is staring at him. He bolts out of the lunchroom and goes straight to the office. "No, you have to do something. He assaulted my son. I promise you we're going to get to the bottom of this, okay?" "No, my son was assaulted. We demand expulsion." Cut to the kid being called into the office. "Hey, I met with the kid's parents and the school board. I'm giving you a 120-day expulsion." "Wait, for real? It was a game. Everybody was playing." "Shut your mouth. 120 days. Even some of the kids that were at the table tried to go to the principal's office to explain that, this was actually a harmless game and everybody was playing. That kid is just being a baby. But he didn't listen. And that kid was expelled for 120 days. And here's the worst part. After 120 days, he was allowed to come back. But if he messed up one time by even getting a detention, they would put him on a permanent expulsion. That's kind of messed up. This kid turned a broken vending machine into a business. So during construction at this one school, it got moved to this weird corner by the band room. Most people ignore it. It's kind of like cracked. The lights don't work in there. It just looks off. This one freshman notices something. If you tilt the keypad kind of forward, it'll come off. And there's a bunch of random little switches and buttons behind it. And he realized if you just press a bunch of these buttons, snacks just start falling out of the vending machine. It was a broken vending machine. What does this do? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, I hit the jackpot. So instead of going nuts, he keeps this quiet. Starts posting on Snapchat. $1 chips, meet by the band room. By this point, he had gathered a bunch of snacks from this vending machine. And people were lining up to pay for these snacks. And the thing is, he's selling these for cheaper than the vending machine charged because, well, he got them for free. By the end of the first week, it was a full-blown snack operation and he made $80. But one day, a custodian was kind of watching him from afar and saw what he was doing. What is that kid doing? Nice. Dear God. The day after that, the vending machine was moved. But by that point, most of the snacks were gone anyway, and he made a good amount of money. So, hey,
You gotta respect the hustle. It happened during lunch. A kid in a black hoodie walked to the center of the cafeteria. He unzips his giant duffel bag, pulls out a gallon of milk, and dumps it right there on the floor. Then he heads to a different part of the cafeteria, pulls out another gallon of milk and dumps that on the floor. He's just dumping milk all around the lunchroom. Pretty soon it's total chaos, and a kid slips and sprains his wrist. Then the janitor runs in and points at a kid. It was him, right there. What? He was pointing at Owen, this quiet kid that never did anything wrong. He just happened to be wearing a very similar black hoodie, but he was just sitting there eating his lunch. It wasn't him, but they pulled him out of the cafeteria. He went to the office, he had to call home. They told him he was facing a 10-day suspension and a possible disciplinary hearing in front of the school board. And other students tried to help. It wasn't him. Owen wouldn't do that. He was just eating his lunch. This is not fair. But the janitor said he was sure. Black hoodie, same build. It was him. I'm positive. It took 3 days for the school to finally pull the security footage. And it wasn't Owen. They saw the real kid do this and run out the side door. And in the footage, there was Owen, sitting there, eating his lunch, peacefully. And the school dropped everything. No hearing, no suspension. They apologized, but Owen never forgot what he went through. And he hates that school to this day. Yeah, I would too. This class is so messed up for this. It's middle school science, and this teacher is a sweet, older woman. She's soft-spoken, she's always kind, she truly cares about her students. She's one of the good ones. Well, one year, she bought every single one of her students their own pencil case with her own money. She filled them with rulers, pencils, erasers, everything they could possibly need. Class, no need to bring supplies, I got you, okay? So each of her students has these full pencil cases, and one day she steps out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. Snap, thud, whip. The students start chucking these pencil cases across the room, snapping rulers, breaking pencils, breaking the zippers, and they're all laughing like maniacs. She just walks back in, and she freezes. Wait, what happened? No one answers. She picks up a broken pencil case and holds it in her hands, and she just starts crying in front of everybody. What would you guys do this? Why would you guys do this? Super messed up. Well, the next day she comes into class. She says this. Class, I'm so sorry for getting upset yesterday. That was not good of me. I should have been more composed. I just wanted you guys to have everything you needed, okay? Anyway, I brought you all some candy. And then she gave them candy. Dude, they were the ones that should have apologized to her. She was one of the best teachers in that school. And students who were in that class say that this messes them up to this day. Which it should. He opened his lunch, looked inside, and oh God, he was starving. He missed breakfast this day. He had a packed lunch and he couldn't wait for his lunch period. He'd been counting down all morning. Well, it's finally his lunch. He sits down, he opens his lunch bag, and what? Yeah, first thing he sees, a container of cold chicken and sauerkraut. Next to it was a weird mustard packet, like one of those from the deli, a Ziploc full of cherry tomatoes, and a boiled egg, just loose, in the lunch bag, floating around. No salt, no napkin, nothing. What? Are you good, homie? I grabbed my dad's lunch. He packs it up, he doesn't eat, doesn't say a word for the rest of lunch. Carries the bag with him all day, and then after school, he goes home, and he walks into his kitchen. Dad, what even is this? Ah, it's my lunch. Yeah, I was wondering why I had yours. Dude, it's nasty. It smells like vinegar, and there's just an egg in there, loose. Hey, that's a good egg. No, Dad, that's a sad egg. A very sad egg. And from that day forward, he made sure to triple check his lunches every morning before school. Honestly, I think that dad's lunch didn't sound too bad. Myself. This one middle school teacher said that she had a class pet, a goldfish, that she loved very much. Well, one morning she got to school and she went to go feed her fish. All right, Felipe, time for breakfast. Felipe? Felipe? The fish was gone. Nowhere to be seen. The tank was empty. That entire day, she was incredibly sad. She announced to her class, "Hello, class. This morning I walked into the classroom to feed Felipe, and he is no longer in the tank. I have no idea where he is. I don't want to point any fingers, but I didn't move him, so that means one of you had to have taken my fish." No one said anything. Until later that night, she was sitting at home when she got a text from one of her students. It was a screen recording of a Snapchat story. The Snapchat story showed a kid putting Felipe the class fish into a water bottle, and then giving that water bottle with Felipe inside of it to a random person on the street. Oh my God. She never saw Felipe again, and that kid was suspended.
One day at this one high school, the science class was dissecting sheep brains as a part of a science lab. Well, as the students were cutting up bits and pieces of the sheep's brain, I guess one of the kids had a pretty crazy idea. He took a few pieces of the sheep brain and put them in his pocket. And that day during lunch, he put pieces of sheep brain in the self-serve ranch bowls. So when the students went to serve themselves ranch, a few of them would get brain on their plate. Pizza day, ranch with pizza, ranch with pizza. Oh my god! At first, obviously, no one knew it was sheep's brain. They thought it was a human brain. The rest of that day was absolute chaos. You either finished in 60 seconds or you failed. This was 8th grade, pop quiz day. But it wasn't just any quiz, it was Mrs. Lowell's quiz. Okay, pencils down at the timer, you have 60 seconds. There are 10 questions, you should be fine if you studied. 10 questions in a minute? Time's a part of the challenge. Welcome to real life, buddy. She sets a timer on her phone. 60, 59, 58. You can feel the panic. Kids are scribbling down trying to finish this 10-question quiz. And the buzzer goes off. Pencils down, I will collect these now. Everyone's groaning like they all knew that they just failed that thing. Next day, grades get handed back. One kid got 20%. One kid got a 50%. One kid got a 10%. Yo, this ain't fair, miss. You only gave us a minute. Yeah, and you should have been ready for the quiz. Just brutal. 2 weeks later, different day, the bell rings for class. There's no sign of Miss Lowell. A minute passes. Then 5. The whole class is just sitting there. Well, suddenly, one kid stands up and walks to the classroom door. He locks it. What are you doing? She says 1 minute's enough time to finish those quizzes. We gave her 5. Class already started. She's locked out. Shortly after that, she shows up and she tries to open the door. But obviously, it's locked, and she doesn't have her key. Unlock this door immediately. Nobody moves. You are wasting class time. You're a hypocrite, miss. You're late to class. Welcome to real life. You gotta respect the hustle. 12 weeks, 1 chicken, and nobody found out. This happened at a farming boarding school, which, first of all, I had no idea a farming boarding school existed, but they do. One weekend, this student goes into town and comes back with a live chicken. A full-grown, living, squawking chicken. No one knows why. Nobody asks questions. All they know is that that chicken lives in his dorm now. He feeds it scraps. He names him Henry. You're such a good boy, Henry. No, you're a good boy. Stop. This went on for 12 weeks. 12 weeks of clucks, feathers, and somehow total secrecy from the authorities. No staff ever caught him, and the people living on the floor didn't say anything. Eventually, he let that chicken go back on a local farm. He was sad, but he planned to visit it, so 2 months after he dropped it off, he stopped by. Hey, I'm here to see Henry. Oh yeah, Henry! He died. A coyote ate him last night. Gnarly scene. What? His carcass is out back. You want to see it? No! Rest in peace, Henry. He wrote all of that down in that notebook? Yeah. Holy sh... Everyone at the school knew about Eli. Not because he was loud or popular. It was just the opposite, actually. You see, Eli was just off. He wore the same hoodie every single day, carried one of those tiny spiral notebooks in his back pocket, and he was always scribbling in it during class. Like it'd be mid-lecture, he would just pause, start writing in this thing, and then he would stop, snap it closed, and stare ahead like nothing happened. Now, people assumed it was a sketchbook or he was writing stories or something, but the rumors started flying pretty quick. Some kids thought it was a hit list. Others thought he was writing creepy fan fiction. It got to a point where a teacher actually pulled him aside to ask him about it. Eli just said, "It's nothing bad. I just like to keep track of things." And for a while, that was enough, until someone found one of the notebooks. It fell out of his pocket during gym class. Oh my god. Yo, Steven, is that what I think it is? Yup. And yeah, it wasn't a hit list, but it was weird. He had pages dedicated to different people. Not in a creepy way, more like stats. Stuff like, Jamie asks to borrow a pencil 3 times a week. Mr. Grant pretends he doesn't see phones on desks. Cafeteria, chicken sandwich rotation is every 6 days. It was like he was documenting the entire school. Patterns, routines, habits, everything. And the weirdest part, he was right. Everything he wrote down was dead on accurate. He had memorized the school's entire system and everybody in it. After that, people stopped making jokes. Because anytime somebody wanted to know something, like what day pizza was coming back, when Mr. Grant gave pop quizzes, what the fire drill schedule looked like, they didn't ask the office or the teachers. They asked Eli. So yeah, he wasn't a problem. He was a database. This happened in the school cafeteria. There was a student with a severe peanut allergy. Like the kind where touching residue would send him into complete shock. Everybody knew it was serious. But then there was this one kid, the class bully. One day at lunch, he pulls out a Reese's peanut butter cup. You know the ones. He eats it in front of this kid with the allergy, chewing it slowly on purpose. Hey man, quit messing around, man. Okay, keep away from me. Then he licks his finger. Hey. He starts chasing the allergy kid around the cafeteria. Come on, come here. One little touch, man. Stay away from me. He's laughing like it's just some game. And then he taps the kid on the arm. Within seconds, this kid's face starts swelling up. Eyes puffed shut, he falls to the ground gasping. The nurse rushes in, she uses the EpiPen, and he gets sent to the ER. He nearly died, pretty much. But the bully? 2-week suspension. That's it? That's it. That was it. The kid with the allergy's parents tried to press charges. But there was some kind of settlement. Turns out the bully's parents had a lot of money that they donated to the school. And the school buried this. Karma's gonna get that kid one day, I swear. That's messed up.